but you know what? This blue line is not mobile, but I've seen lots of non-mobile blue lines get it done at playoff time. I'm excited about this series. That's why I want to find a bar.
Super excited, or Mac going, Montreal's got no chance here. Like, it's a best of 4. It's a best of 7, but this thing doesn't need to go much past 5 games, Mac. That Montreal is crawling to finish the regular season here with no juice, no energy.
Well, to me, the number one thing, Toronto are the better team in the regular season. We know that. They're healthy. Hyman looks like he's back. Foligno's back. We don't know. Bogosian doesn't look like he's ready. Freddie is back. The only question I have, is this going to be a competitive series? I think it's going to be a really competitive series if Montreal are healthy. Gallagher, Danault, Weber, where are these guys? Are they going to be healthy to play? 4 key guys, and Price, obviously. So if you were saying, okay, it looks like Jack Campbell will start, we'll see on that. Freddie's got a lot more experience. We'll see who starts. That's a big question mark.
When you've only lost a couple of games, Mac, how do you not start Jack Campbell?
Campbell starts for me. There's no doubt he starts.
Keefe ends up putting himself in a horrible position if, in fact, he goes to Anderson and for some reason lose game 1.
He won't go with Anderson for game 1. He'll go with Jack Campbell, in my opinion. So we shall see. But
there is no scenario. There's no
Jack
scenario.
Campbell versus Price. Jack Campbell versus Price.
And the huge advantage to Jack Campbell, because he doesn't have to win the series for them. He just doesn't have to lose it.
That's right. But there's going to be a ton of pressure on Jack Campbell, and there's going to be a ton of pressure on Carey Price to salvage a disastrous season for me. And Price apparently is ready to play. So that's going to be, you'd typically say, well, the advantage is the Montreal Canadiens in goal. And based on Carey Price's season, you can't say that. Can Carey Price fix this issue that he's got, whatever it is, that has made him very average this year? I know he's been injured. I get all that. But can he get it going?
You mentioned,
and if Montreal are healthy, I'm just telling you this right now. If Montreal are healthy, I really believe this is going to be a hell of a series. I really believe it will be.
You mentioned Danault out, and outside of that, Suzuki, Kotkaniemi, Stahl, and Evans
can't compete.
I think the one thing too, Mac, when you look at what Eric Stahl has not been able to do since he's arrived, that one's a major disappointment for Bergevin.
Yeah, totally. You know what? There's been okay. I still believe Toronto are the better team. Toronto should win this series. But if Toronto get a ton of pressure on them, if Montreal can ever win one of the first 2 games, and the pressure goes on the Toronto Maple Leafs and their goaltending and their blue line, we shall see if this becomes a competitive series. If Montreal are healthy, if Gallagher, Danault, and company, Weber, Price, if they're healthy, I still believe this is going to be one hell of a series. There's too much pride on the line here, and I know Toronto are better. I thought Toronto were better than a couple of teams they've lost to recently. But this is the best they've ever looked. I like the fact that I'm hoping he's going to get Kerfoot out of the middle and put him on the side with Nash and Mikheyev. I hope he's going to play the Simmons, Thornton. But listen, Montreal are not that bad if they get it going mentally. Mentally, they've got to get it going.
They will have
Maybe
to
it's too much to ask.
they will have to play, Mac, very similar to what we saw Columbus do against the Leafs last season in the bubble.
So
that means Werenski and Seth Jones were out of their minds in that playoff series, up and down the ice.
And I don't see a Seth Jones and Werenski in this lineup.
We don't. Edmonton's done a nice job. Petrie was having a career year, but faded down the stretch. You mentioned Shea Weber not there yet. He's going to have to find a way to get back in the lineup. Sherratt, like they are capable, Mac, of playing that shutdown, suffocating type of defense.
Can they make this a vicious series? Can they make this a physical enough, a game in the trenches? Can they play the way you have to play to bother stars at playoff time? If they can figure that out, this is a big task for Duchesne. They've got to make these games as ugly as they can make them. And if you're the coach of the coaching staff of the Montreal Canadiens, you're trying to turn this into a street fight. That's what you're trying to turn it into. A knock them down, drag them out street fight. I don't know if Montreal can do that. The one thing
that I watched this blue line, Mac, and it's the lack of mobility.
Yeah.
And you know what? One of the things that I think really has hurt the Montreal Canadiens in the last few years is that Mete was a guy that they just couldn't get to the next level. But that is your typical 2021 kind of top four defenseman. It's almost like all the good teams have one of those guys. And Mete, we know, is a fantastic skater.
But
and clearly had the most.
Not there. Yeah.
What's that?
He's not there. He's not even close to that.
No, Mac, but he's also gone to Ottawa. They put him on waivers. They thought he was going to pass through waivers.
Yeah. And they lost.
Ottawa claims him. And not only that, Mac, I can tell you that there were multiple claims on Victor Mete as well, including the Leafs.
There should have been.
There was a lot of teams that said, we'll take that mobility. He goes to Ottawa, Mac. He's playing 20 minutes.
Oh, I know.
I think they're 9-3 since they've got him.
But they made a decision to go with, the Edmundston, to go with the Kulak, to go with Romanoff. They had all those guys.
Merrill.
They had all those guys ahead of them. But you know what? This blue line is not mobile, but I've seen lots of non-mobile blue lines get it done at playoff time. Non-mobile blue lines can get it. I mean, Savard is the most talked after guy that teams were after. He's not overly mobile, but he's a shutdown guy and he bothers stars. So can these guys do it? Starting with Weber's health, Petrie, Romanoff, this group. I don't know if they can, but if they can turn it into a street fight, it might be a hell of a series. And Toronto, when you're the favorite, the overwhelming favorite like they are, with meaning that unless they get out of the North, everything else is a disaster for them. If they lose in the first round, disaster. If they lose in the second round, that's a lot of pressure on this hockey team. They're really good. I like the way they're set up now with their health. I'm not sold on their blue line, and I'm not sold on their goaltending. And those are two pretty components, big components at playoff time.
We've seen video of Carey Price skating around the ice, which means there seems to be some advancement in how he's feeling. I would imagine the pressure on this guy to get back in the lineup is, as you would say, huge.
How many times have we seen him skating around the last 4 years without pads on?
It's sink or swim time with this guy.
Oh no,
you got to find a way to get him in the lineup.
You want to believe it. And you know what? Look, Carey Price has been a star. Can he go in and regain his game? I don't know if he can. Montreal, Toronto, I have to give them full marks. They've had a wonderful season. They're going in there. Their penalty killing's not great. Their power play is stumbled down the stretch, but you still think it's going to be pretty good.
I just don't see a light switch on for this hockey club.
I don't either, but pressure can do strange things at playoff time. So we'll see.
That we will.
You didn't have Columbus beating Toronto last year, did you, in the play-in round?
I don't know. I can't even remember what I had for breakfast.
You didn't have Columbus beating Tampa 4 straight. I know that. I didn't either. Strange things happen.
Okay.
I think Toronto wins it in 6. My prediction is Toronto wins it in 6.
2 games? You want to give Montreal 2?
Yep. I say Toronto wins it in 6.
I'll be generous and give them 1 game.
Okay.
And I'll blame Jack Campbell on 1 game, and then he'll take 4 out of 5.